One, two, three, four. Bismillah. So today I will speak about some interesting cases from my experimentation in my last research. One of the last research about how you can use simple Python script and you can grab and stolen different personal data from around the world, from Latin America, from China, from Europe, and other ones. First of all, I just want to show some different cases from this experiment, from this research. There's of course a little bit information about me. I'm a cybersecurity enthusiast and also author of the different books about malware development, like MDMZ book, Malware in the Wild, and Malware Development for Ethical Hackers, which published by PACT this year. Also speaking different conferences from around the world about malware, about OSINT, about threat intelligence, and so on. Also, I'm working on as Malpedia project contributor, one of the main contributors of this project. So let's start at a little bit agenda of this presentation, this research. First of all, a little bit history about cyber warfare and impact of the database leaks on the cyber warfare and APT era. Yes. The second one is many different cases and main proof of concept, how you can grab different data leaks with personal data, with sensitive data from the shutdown and binary edge. And of course, some financial beneficiaries from this experiment and how you can sell this data on dark web markets. Okay, so first of all, let's consider about cyber warfare era. First of all, from Stuxnet and Carbonac to Lockbit and Conti ransomwares. You know, the classic era of cyber warfare and cyber espionage era. It's 2011 and 2014. Of course, Stuxnet malware, Flame, Duku malware, and Zev's family malwares. Of course, you know, we have different interesting cases in cyber espionage from Israel, from USA, from China, from Korea. Yes, the first of all is Stuxnet, which was one of the most sophisticated cases of cyber warfare in the history. The second one is, of course, APT1. Is one of the most interesting report from Mandiant and FireEye in 2013. And of course, what about the Carbonac and Carberb? It's one of the classic malware families, and it's one of the most interesting impact on the malware development and most interesting and most sophisticated impact on the cyber warfare era for creating new APTs, new ransomware actors, and cyber criminals. And of course, something like interesting backdoors from the USA, from the NSA, like Heartbleed and Shellshock. I think you know about these interesting vulnerabilities when, for example, Shellshock, it really shocked for cybersecurity community, for most information technology community, because it's one of the first backdoors in open source, you know, in Shell. Of course, the next era is cyber espionage era, one of the most interesting cases from around the world, from the USA, from the NSA, Equation Group, if you want to say about APT terminology. For example, equation group victims is around the world. You know, one of the interesting reports from Kaspersky laboratory from Russia. First of all, of course, Edward Snowden leak from NSA, which one of the most impactable leak in the history and equation APT, because after this leak, many APTs are used different software from NSA, like APT, different different techniques and tricks in malware development, in bypassing antivirus solutions, EDR solutions, of course. One of the first backdoors in the history from NSA is, of course, Eternal Blue, and some interesting cases around the world, because you know, after leaking Eternal Blue, we have a more Eternal Blue-like families, malware families, and use different ransomware actors like Petya, not Petya ransomwares, and WannaCry, of course, one of the most sophisticated ransomwares in the world, in the history. And another backdoor is Meltdown Inspector, which was discovered in Intel and AMD processors, which also developed by National Security Agency from USA. Of course, it's equation group. And as I said before, it's WannaCry and Petya, the first sophisticated ransomwares, first most impactable malwares, most impactable ransomware actors in the world. And then next era, it's one of the last years. You know, we was showing the impact of the ransomware, impact of the cryptography in the nowadays. For example, Maze, Revel, Lockbit, and ransomware as a service. Malware actors and ransomware actors are using different services from the dark web markets, or using ransomware attacks and financial beneficials and cyber espionage in different countries, and APT and ransomware actors. Most of them are also state-sponsored, you know, like Lazarus, like APT-441 is Double Dragon, of course APT-28 from Russia, and you know, it's General Intelligence Agency in Russia, like GRU. And of course Conti-Leak and Conti family, and one of the most interesting and most valuable and most impactable leak. Why? Because Conti-Leak have a different source codes of different malware development tricks, like how you can bypass antivirus evasion, how you can bypass different security solutions from around the world, from different countries and different companies like Kaspersky, like Windows Defender, of course, how you can use API hashing, how you can use payload encryption, how you can use disk encryption, different cases and encryption. Not only use classic cryptography after this leak. For example, in some new ransomwares are also use different tricks from this leak, like finding NTDLL API encrypting and reimplementation some Windows API functions like get proc address and get model handle, you know, using different syscall tricks like Halos Gate, Tartarus Gate, if you know. And one of the most impactable case is something like why you can use source code of Conti, why you can use source code of Conti malware family after this leak. For example, in some cases, something like Babook ransomware, or one of the last cases, you also use elliptic curve cryptography. It's one of the most sophisticated ones. And of course, hacking group threats, Lazarus and APT2028. But today I will be speak about the impact of all of them. First, of course, impact of malware. Yes, nowadays in cyber warfare era, impact of malware are used for social engineering, for infection, for example, emails, USB sticks, phishing, social engineering, malicious documents like PDF, docx, macros, Excel files, of course. The next one is persistence. Of course, persistence is one of the most important cases and most important tricks for malware development nowadays. It's also used for different kinds of ransomware actors, cyber criminal actors, financial beneficial actors, and most of cyber criminals are used these persistent tricks. So something like Windows registry, Windows services, maybe drivers, of course, yes. So, as you can see also, EDR bypass, as I said before, anti-debugging tricks like bypassing sandboxes, like bypassing virus total detection scores, and another sandbox detections, cuckoo sandbox, and other ones. And of course, cryptography, as I said before, it's one of the most impact. What about cryptography? I mean, cryptography nowadays are used for censorship, using for deep packet inspection. For example, it's used for new generation firewalls in China, for example, deep packet inspection, passive censorship, and by China state from these citizens from China, and not Hong Kong, only China. So cryptography, yes, of course, and EDR bypassing. For example, in malware development, you can use encryption of C2 connection encryption. You can use payload encryption, disk encryption. You can use different kinds of entropy bypassing and EDR bypassing by encrypting strings, encrypting some tricks like also encrypt everything. You can also obfuscate some code. Interesting tricks like obfuscation of function call obfuscation when you use obfuscation for calling Win API and syscalls, of course. And cryptography and ransomware, of course. Why not? Because most of financial APT attacks, most of cyber criminal and APT, also state-sponsored APTs are use cryptography. And what about data leaks? What about data leaks and its impact in this nowadays in the cyber warfare era? So I ask myself, what about if we use some different cases and try to re-implement some interesting leaks? For example, first of all, Facebook leak. You know, in 2020, we have a data leak from Facebook from around the world. First of all, we has a leak from Middle East countries, like Maghreb countries, Middle East countries. Then something like nearby 165 million rows. First of all, it's just only Arab countries and Maghreb countries. And then next, after some months, we have most big leak, like Facebook leak from around the world, in different countries, more than 150 countries around the world. And data leaks and vulnerable drivers. For example, SolarWinds is used with different government actors, government companies in the USA. And after this vulnerable driver are leaked in the dark web, most of the new drivers are malicious, and most of the government peoples update their soft and the SolarWinds, the different solutions from the Russian servers. So USA said that it was Russian hacker actors. And of course, data leak and malware. For example, after leaking Carberp and Carbanak source codes and Zeus malware families, Carbanak source code and Conti, we have different reimplementations of these malwares, different tricks, because new actors are researched and learned more from these leaks. Okay. What about proof of concept and practical case so using data leak? How we can use simple Python script just for update and run it, for example, every day or maybe every hour or maybe 1 hour from in the month. It's not so important, but it's required. For example, I just consider to use binary edge and use something like filters like NoSQL database, like MongoDB, Elasticsearch, CouchDB, Redis, and Cassandra, and ArangoDB, standard ports like 7474 and Neo4j database, graph database, and weak passwords. Because in the most cases, when sysadmins create new database, new NoSQL database, they are not used passwords or used standard passwords in Elasticsearch like change.me or maybe it's like Postgres. It's normal. So I just show and demo later Python script, Python proof of concept, and how you can use binary edge API and stolen many interesting cases, many interesting data. It looks like this. For example, you just run Python script binary leak with different different filters like Elastic and first page and last page is some filters like indices payment. If you use keywords like payment, you can show some accounts, some different clusters from Elasticsearch, from around the world, from United States. So let's start to show the result of this research. It's very awful, very awful and very interesting because as you can see later, it's interesting impact. For example, bank records from USA to China. First of all, I just found a database. This looks like Elasticsearch database. Bank card numbers and card holder details, something like this. One of the first lines in this. As you can see, you have a bank card number, department ID, bank name, bank code, province, city, branch name. As you can see, nature name, user ID, and some confirmation flags like nature names, it's employee ID. As you can see, it's one of the city from China, bank name, and not so many records, 25,000 records. Okay. As you can see, the most interesting case is bank card number. The next one is US credit cards and students. It's a CSV file, just backed up by me for CSV. As you can see, we have different countries around the world, and Andorra, Argentina, Cabo Verde, Andorra, Kuwait, Rwanda, Guatemala, Albania, Korea, Kazakhstan, so around the world. And of course, bank card detail numbers. Personal data like first name, last name, it looks like address, yes, it looks like postcode, it looks like something like phone numbers. Most of this case are foreign students and address info. 1 million records. As you can see, it's abnormal. It's abnormal. It's public. The next one, Amazon. Amazon US payments and clients. Two indices in Elasticsearch. First indice is credit card info, like this. For example, as you can see, the credit card number, credit card expiration date, credit card holder name. It's also can be used with carders in dark web or some cyber criminals in the real actions, because it's public also. Just found it by script. For example, also phone numbers, credit card numbers. It's about payment. As you can see, we also have a client ID, source ID, and payment ID. I think it also will be used for some actions like confirmations, maybe payment confirmations, different case. Over the 2 million payment details and clients, like 500,000 records. It's also abnormal. It's also awful, I think. The next one. What about China bank loans? It's MongoDB database. It's you can find the customer name, gender, age, something like ID. Maybe it's national ID. Why not? Maybe it's address, the address ID, and bank card number. As you can see, phone. Also, it's one of the most important key is loan purpose. It's also sensitive data, because in some cases, in some purpose, you can use loans. You can use it for creating new loans by cyber criminals for financial beneficial. Phone, age, gender, as you can see, some interesting case like city, like IP. I don't know. It's first is city, IP city, a different interesting case, but also year rate. It looks like something like credit scoring. Credit scoring information here for new loans in China bank. Okay, another ones. Okay, and another type of cases, like mobile operators from Iran to Pakistan. Okay. Data leak, Iran Telegram users info. In 2020, we had the most impactable and most interesting leak from Iran Telegram, but it's another one. It's another one from also from Elasticsearch. As you can see, some indices you can just recheck it by phone number, by version, by volume ID. I don't know what's the case. Some of case, for example, Telegram contacts access hash. Maybe we can use it from Telegram contacts and Telegram. Maybe it's used by another parsers, maybe like botnets, maybe like different kind of data leaks. For example, first name, surname, and username or information. Of course, phone and Telegram ID. I think it will be also used for spamming, for social engineering, for using sensitive data, for creating new accounts, or maybe hacking two-factor authorization is also normal, because if you use some tricks like SIM jacking, or maybe something like SIM banking, which we use it with cyber criminals and scammers, it's also important, it's also awful, it's also abnormal. Okay. So the next one is Mobilink. It's one of the mobile operators from Pakistan. As you can see, we have many interesting information like first name, national ID, phone, SIM card information, because let me check something like MSI SDN, for example, or maybe EMSI. It's one of the sensitive data from base stations and phone numbers. It's sensitive information between connection with between SIM card and base stations, like EMSI, EMI number, address information. As you can see, it's one of the most important leaks, because as you can see, is more than 40 million records from the Pakistan. Of course, the most interesting case is this address, or maybe like something, some sensitive information like first name, last name, and address name, and like something like national ID maybe, or maybe ID from mobile operator is also normal, but it's why it's abnormal, because it's also public. It's without passwords, without any protections, without any. It's just founded by Elasticsearch cluster also, and I just trying to back up this to the CSV file, and as you can see, it's more than 40 million records. Okay, next one is also NoSQL database. As you can see, it's a MongoDB database. In the first versions of MongoDB, we haven't standard passwords, standard authorization. With some versions of MongoDB are used something like no password, no authorization, just download the client, MongoDB client, and connect to the different databases. As you can see, in this case, we have more than 27 million records with sensitive data like first name. As you can see, not only first name, but full name, and as you can see, date of birth. It's one of the most private and sensitive information, because it's also used for social engineering, for scamming, for like carders, also used for carders, and for example, in some cases you can use these leaks for creating big APT attack, like in the first stage you can use it for social engineering. The next stage you can create some malicious documents with personal data. It's normal. It looks like unexpected behavior from the victims of these APT attacks. For example, using MSI SDN, EMA, and IMSI is also not showing by operators, not showing by scammers, but if you can use it for predicting some behaviors of your victims in malicious attacks and ransomware attacks also. It's abnormal. So as you can see, it's also public. And the last ones and interesting leaks are used for data leaks for citizenship databases. Like from Latin America, from Asian Pacific region. First case is from Elasticsearch. It's Argentina citizens. For example, gender and nationality is Argentina. As you can see, we also have sensitive data like person type and email, like birth date, age, marital status is also sensitive, nationality is also sensitive information, and also have DNI. What's the DNI? DNI is Documento Nacional de Identidad. It looks like identification document from the Argentina. It looks like passport. It looks like driver ID. Yes. So if you use this case for social engineering, also you can use it. Create some malicious documents with nationality, with emails. You can use it for spamming different malicious documents like address information, department information. As you can see, it's also used phone IDs. It's also abnormal because it's a public case. As you can see, one of the IP addresses of this leak just updated in the March of this year, and more than 14 million payments from Argentina from the 2021. And the next one is also Elasticsearch, but used by Brazilian citizens like CFP. What's the CFP? This is something like Cadastros de Pessoas de Físicas. It's if we translate it from Portuguese, it's like database of personal identity cards, something like this. As you can see, we have you haven't any information, but have a number of CPF and CNPG. What about CNPG? CNPG is Cadastros number of Pessoas Jurídica. It's like national used by national ID or national companies, like company identifiers or like a tax number. It's also used for scamming. It also can be used for malicious actions in APT attacks in cyber warfare era. As you can see, also have sensitive information like full name, gender information, and address information. For example, name pessoa. What's pessoa? It's also if we translate it from Portuguese, it's a person, just person. It's a person full name. Some Latin countries like Argentina, like Brazil, like Uruguay or Paraguay, they use maternity names like instead of father names. It's used mother names like Alessandra or maybe another case. Okay, it's not so important, but also use it for social engineering and hacking attacks. The next one is also different sensitive data from Argentina. I found it also with this proof of concept script. For example, you can use it for founding the sensitive data like photo from one of the hospitals from Argentina. As you can see, it's just base64 encrypted photo. JPEG format. It's also use different interesting data like documento, like full name, like different case like nombre. As you can see, it's also use medical information, some notes, carpet electors, some sensitive information from medicine actors, like more than a little bit around the 1 million records, like from Argentina, on different years. As you can see, I just for correctness of this experiment, I just tried to decrypt and deobfuscate the base64 data from this. In the next one. And the next one is Georgia citizens. I mean Georgia country from the Central Asia. let's look at these rows from this leak. As you can see, the first line is national ID. The second is second and third lines are full name, like first name and last name. The next ones looks like some binary information, like maybe gender or sex. On the next one is the birth date. It looks like birth date is also one of the most sensitive information, date of birth. And the next one looks like maybe created date, maybe some information from national ID or national documents, some identification documents like cards. And the next ones is address information. Of course, I just show you later by proof of concept why we can use it for selling in dark web and why we can use it for creating more sophisticated APT and cyber criminal attacks in the real world examples, like used by Lazarus group from Korea, from Russian hackers. It's also abnormal, it's also public. As you can see, more than 4 million records in Latin. It's nearby Georgia population. It looks like also 4 or 5 million peoples. The next one is India citizens. It's also Elasticsearch database. Also found by this proof of concept script by Binary Edge and Shodan. Looks like different personal data from around states from India, like emails, some sensitive information like national ID, maybe some address information, first names, last names. It's also used, as you can see, it looks like phone numbers like this. It looks like Indian code, phone code number. The next one is, for example, you can also use it for social engineering or some interesting cases for real-world attacks, like address. As you can see, this address is also most sensitive in some cases for creating sophisticated attacks. More than 17 million records in Latin from India. What about the other goods from around the world? For example, US passports. It's also public. It's also found by proof of concept script. It's also abnormal and also use it for social engineering, for creating some cyber attacks. The next one is some government docs from Yahudi government, Israel. I don't know what the fucking is this, but it looks like some sensitive information. The next one is India citizens. It's also interesting case because you can just use it some links like Amazon AWS bucket, as you can see, is link for the photo information. It's also sensitive, as you can see, the phone number and mobile operator, first name, last name, and some interesting cases like maybe address information. The next one is the China crime cases. More than 100 million rows. It's big leak and also public and some information. In this case, I just tried to translate it into Russian through Kazakh language. It looks like something like man Tokuda Sen Kubai, which birthed in 1979 in March, Kazakh, which also graduated from the school. It looks like it was some drug case, some narcotic cases. Demo, but I think it's not worked from this laptop. Maybe I just show you the demo script later after this presentation. What about how we can use it for selling in dark web? Can we use some of these cases just for an experiment, just for research purpose, of course? Can we still use it for selling in dark web? Of course, as you can see, it's one of the sample and one of the like some data leaks from one of the markets, like rate forums, maybe bridge forums, I don't remember. It's cost of the data leaks from around the world, from around the different countries, looks like what type of databases, count of rows, it looks like case, like first name, middle name, surname. And what about dark web markets? Dark web markets are used different costs for different information based on the sensitive of this information. If you use date of birth, it's also more expensive data. If you have some mobile numbers or maybe some sensitive information from mobile operators like EMSI or EMSI SDN or like EMAI information, it's just for experiment. As you can see, you can use just $10 for this, for creating the script, or you can use free pricing, free API from binary edge. Okay, what's the conclusion of this research? Of course, first of all, is the financial beneficial. For example, you can you can use just $10 for public API from binary edge, or maybe, as I know, something like $50 for Shodan, and you can sell it around 5,000 USDs in dark web. Flexible. Instead of using your own script, instead of using your own scanners for open database, you can use just API like binary edge, like Elasticsearch. But you have some troubles and some issues with backupping this data, because if you have a big database like Elasticsearch database with more than 100 million rows, it's a little bit hard to back up this data. Because, as I know, one of the most normal script is just wrote it in JavaScript, something like Node.js. I don't know. So you can also use it for the starting point for creating different types of malwares, different types of social engineering case, and creating and simulating. For example, nowadays I'm working on the different companies and consulting on adversary simulation frameworks. Like, can you simulate the APT-41 attack to the USA? Can you use can you re-implement different attacks from China, from Russia, or maybe from Iran, maybe some Syrian electronic army? So it's normal nowadays, so using experiments and some research like this for re-implementing and recreating. It's not pen testing. It's not just red team operation. It looks like more something like cyber warfare re-implementation, maybe adversary simulations, cyber warfare simulation attacks. It can be used for your clients, so showing the impact of the data leaks in the future. So thank you. I think it's all. If you have some questions, you can just. Yes, of course. I just yes, of course. No problem, no problem. I will publish it in GitHub if you want, no problem. And it's also I can show you from my laptop. Okay. Yes, maybe some questions from the auditor. Any questions? Yes, yes. It's just for from binary edge, as you can see. I just show you the demo of this script from the one of the first. One of the first slide, like. It looks like this. It's just a Python script and nearby 100 rows, maybe. It looks like this. It's used binary edge API. If you want, I can just show you how we can re-implement it in real case, in live demo. But some issues with this laptop and my demonstration, so no problem. I just can show you in my laptop. Okay, so finished.